How's it going, everyone? A long time no see. My name is Midnight Strike 3625, and I am back to review a game that has been eluding us for the better part of a year now in the Grand Theft Auto series review. That, of course, is Grand Theft Auto 4. You can already tell how I feel about this game. So I'm not going to go in full rant mode because I honestly don't think that this game really goes that far in terms of quality, or lack thereof, I should say. With Grand Theft Auto 4, it's kind of a mixed bag. Some people love it, some people hate it. There's really no middle ground, and I'm kind of in the latter category. I don't really like it as much. It was a very gruesome chore to get through, but I finally did it. It took me months upon months because I didn't have time, and with work and kids and everything, it's just hard to find time to play a game you absolutely hate. So, with Grand Theft Auto 4, where to start? So in 2008, Rockstar decided to hit a hard reset button on the series. Basically, everything up until this point continued the same plot line, with the exception of GTA 1 and 2 and GTA London 1964, but everything continued on the same contingency. Same plotline, same timeline, same events, characters crossing over, Easter eggs, cameos, and whatnot. And the series didn't really take itself that seriously. It was kind of like a Saints Row before Saints Row. Come 2008, and now we have this entire series rebooted from the ground up. The advent of the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 was not kind to Grand Theft Auto. Instead of trying to continue the series for what it's known for, they decided to go back and decide to make it hyper-realistic, or at least hyper-realistic in the eye of the beholder, because, honestly, the entire game, as you're running as Nico, and, running around shooting up people and doing Grand Theft Auto things, stealing cars and whatnot, it feels completely bogged down. It feels literally weighted, and I don't mean figuratively like some people say literally as a figurative sense. I mean, it feels literally bogged down and weighted down, like you can't even run fast, or as fast as you could in other games. Yeah, you could chalk it up to a different engine, you could chalk it up to more realistic effects, but I'm not buying it. I don't like it. The entire game experience just feels very, very bogged down by unnecessary reductions, actually. This game is actually smaller than Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas lets you experience and explore a vast countryside, as well as 3 major cities and towns. There are towns just sprinkled all over the place on the map. This, just one city. Yeah, it has highways, yeah, it has exits and stuff like that, so I guess at least they kept the highway system from San Andreas, but that's not really saying much when every single vehicle is just annoying to drive. I mean, I don't know how they could have gone more wrong with this, at least with the physics engine. The ragdoll physics, a lot of people do say that that's kind of fun to mess around with. I myself found them more of an annoyance than a, oh my god, let's mess around with the ragdoll physics kind of thing, like an annoyance than a joy. But to each his own, I guess. With this game, you play as Niko Bellic. He is an immigrant from a Russian-like country, and he finds himself into a lot of trouble with many different people because of the way that his brother runs his business. His brother Roman, who likes to invite you out for bowling constantly when you're in the middle of missions, gets himself into a lot of trouble with a lot of people. Pretty soon you meet Dmitry Raskolov, however you pronounce his name, and the story kicks off from there. You get kidnapped, and for some reason, instead of going to the police or going to other people to help break him out or kill, his captors, he decides to end up working with them because they're not bad people or anything, right? I mean, the story just kind of goes downhill from there. You're taking missions from Dmitry, and pretty soon he becomes the main villain, and it's kind of a train wreck of a story that's held together by all the different things you can do, all the vehicles you can steal, and the girlfriend that you can acquire and everything. That's one thing they did bring back, was girlfriends. But they took it out in 5. And girlfriends in this game are definitely not as fleshed out of a feature as they are in San Andreas. They felt like more of an afterthought, I should say. And I believe it was just one that I got, and that was the one that was given to you with the story. As far as scenery goes, everything in San Andreas had a place. Even the buildings that you couldn't go into, had a place, had a purpose. You could go around and go on top of buildings, and you could find different Easter eggs and different collectibles. There was a ton of things, horseshoes and oysters to name two, and of course tags to name another one. There was a lot of things in every single area, and every area felt varied. It felt like there was a lot of variation in the stylings even. I mean, with Los Santos, Las Venturas, and San Fierro, they were three totally different cities. Liberty City in Grand Theft Auto 4 just feels like a mess. Everything is just clumped together and randomly put there for no reason at all whatsoever. It just feels like nothing there really stands out or matters. The color scheme seems almost like grayscale. There's barely any color, barely any vibrance to the game whatsoever. It's kind of a depressing concrete jungle, if you will. I mean, even Grand Theft Auto 3's version of Liberty City had more life to it, it seemed like. So, I don't know if that was their intention, just to make it seem more realistic. They also have a revamped shooting system that doesn't really work very well. I mean, yeah, you can control the guns going in all directions, but honestly, simplicity is much to be desired in this game. You can't really aim while shooting and driving at the same time. It was kind of another plague that plagued Red Dead Redemption, because they used the same system. The one thing I will say to Grand Theft Auto 4's credit is it revamped the wanted level system, and that is one thing that I absolutely love about this game. It got the wanted level system right. And this is the first time that we've seen this kind of thing. It was just kind of like a wanted area that just keeps getting bigger the more stars you get. And I really love that. It makes sense, too. I actually kind of wish that they would put a wanted level system like this in San Andreas or some of the older games. I mean, it would make more sense. Although I do like the wanted level system in 5 a lot more than this. This was a definite starting point to what would lead to 5's wanted system. And that's one thing, probably one of the only things, that I absolutely like about this game. Overall, Grand Theft Auto 4 fails on many fronts, on many levels. It gets the wanted level system right, but there's too many things taken out, from customization to car mods, pretty much to everything else in the game being just completely bogged down by meaningless things like GPS signals. I mean, half the time if you get into a newer vehicle, there'll be like GPSs. When you pinpoint a location with the blip on your map, the GPS will be talking to you, and you won't be able to hear your radio. That's another thing. The soundtrack is definitely lacking in this game. But back to the radio. You have to turn it off in the options menu. That shouldn't even be a thing. The soundtrack as well is not that good. It's got a couple good songs on like one station. Other than that, it's just kind of throwaway music. I mean, there was one song called Enforcer by Leeway that I had never heard of before, but I actually got it because it's a good song. That's about the only other song that I like. I mean, there's Radio Gaga and... yeah, I can't even think of any more off the top of my head. That's how poor the soundtrack is. But then again, what can you expect from a game taking place in modern day times at the time when it was released? 2008, still got a flip phone, basically. The cell phone was a nice addition, though, as well as the wanted level system. So I suppose the takeaway from this is we need more customization, we need more vehicles, we need more choice for radio stations, and the ragdoll physics were definitely not a welcome addition. They tuned it back a little bit for Grand Theft Auto 5, and that definitely made all the difference. It was a lot of fun to play, but I will get more into that when I review Grand Theft Auto 5. All in all, I would say that Grand Theft Auto 4 is definitely the worst out of the 3D Grand Theft Auto games since going from top-down or transitioning over from top-down, but it's definitely not as bad as what the first one is. I'd probably just rate it maybe like 5.5, 6. Sure, I'll throw it a bone. I'll give it like a 6 out of 10. But I cannot bring myself to rate it any higher than that. 6 out of 10. It's average, but if you look at it in a way that I guess it revolutionized the formula, it can be slightly above average, I suppose, but I would still probably rate it below average. But a lot of people like it, so I'm just going to rate it average. That's really all I have to say. I don't like this game. This is Midnight Strike 3625. Keep calm and rock on.